Just checking everything's okay. Thank you for joining me tonight. I am Pam Wrigley, if you haven't watched one of my tutorials before, and I am a bridal hairstylist. And I teach lots of different styles. I teach people how to create beautiful hairstyles for any occasion. So whether it's a wedding, a party, or any other kind of special event, I love creating hairstyles. And I love teaching people how to create hairstyles. And tonight, I'm going to show you how to create a beautiful, soft, kind of low bun. It looks like a kind of knotted, almost braided bun. And it's something that I created for one of my brides earlier this week. If you have any questions, I'm going to keep an eye on the chat box here. So if you see me moving over to the side, I'm just looking at the questions as they come in. If you have any questions, please just ask, and I'll do my best to keep an eye on the chat box and answer your questions. And they may well be about tonight's bridal hairstyle, or it could be about setting up, if you're looking to start working as a bridal hairstylist. So it could be about advertising or getting the best pictures or getting work. So any questions, please just ask. I am here to help. So let's begin. This beautiful textured knotted low bun, once you've done the hair prep, is actually fairly quick and quite easy to create. The hair prep does take a little bit of time, however, and I have already done the hair prep tonight on this practice head. So I've crimped the hair. I put a little bit of texture in there first of all with a bit of salt spray, and if I'd been working on a client, I would have also put a little bit of mousse through the root, just to give a little bit of texture, and the salt spray through the mid-lengths and the ends, and then you can crimp the hair. Now, if you don't have time to crimp the hair, or if your client already has quite coarse, thick hair and you feel you don't need to crimp, then perhaps I would suggest being a little bit more generous with the products that you use, with the texturizing products. So perhaps a little bit more mousse and a little bit more salt spray, and then blow dry the hair to get some movement and some root lift and some volume into the hair, and then you'll be ready to start. If your lady, on the other hand, has particularly fine hair, then I would suggest putting the mousse in and the salt spray and blow drying, and then texturizing the hair using your crimpers to just go through the hair a kind of slice at a time to get that extra bit of root lift and the extra bit of texture in the hair using your crimpers. And then once you've got to that stage, we can then start creating the style. Let's just check. Good evening, Carter. Thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you're well. And I am going to do my best to keep an eye on the chat box tonight. So please bear with me. But thank you for joining me. Any questions, please just let me know. And if I don't get around to answering your questions now, you can always send me a little comment on our YouTube channel, or you can email me at info@createbeautifulhair.co.uk. You can send me an email and I will get back to you. We do also have an online training course where we are able to show a lot more kind of in-depth, step-by-step styles. So you learn actually how to do the hair prep, using the products and the crimpers to get to this stage. But for our live tutorials, we kind of miss that step and go straight to the styling. So I've created a little bit of height here on the crown. You can see it's a little bit piecey. I've used a little bit of product here just to create these lovely kind of little section lines, and it's actually remarkably easy to get this kind of piecey look once you've got that prep, the mousse and the salt spray in the hair, and even better if you've crimped the hair. So after I did that, the second step would be to bring our side sections round the back with just, you can see here, just a little twist in the hair and a little twist in that section. And I've secured them with bobby pins, and you'll notice, let me just lift her up a little bit. You might be able to see her. You might be able to see her a little bit better. That's better. Let me bring her a bit closer as well. So you might notice there aren't any visible bobby pins. And what I find really helps as you create these styles is that you kind of make sure your bobby pins are hidden at each step along the way. Because then you're then not forced to kind of go back on yourself and kind of trace your steps and cover anything up. So if it looks lovely, you can just leave it. Let's just check this question. Thicker sections are much harder to secure, especially if your lady has thick hair. And if that's the case, just use smaller sections. Or you could use stronger bobby pins, but I would suggest just using slightly smaller sections so that you know each one is secure. And you might work, here I've done one side, then I brought the other side back. So you could actually make a little bit of a feature of it if they have very thick hair. You could bring a small amount back on one side, a little bit back on the other side, and kind of create a kind of crisscross, almost braided effect with our sections coming back. So you can kind of make a detail out of the fact that you're bringing it back in a couple of sections rather than just like one section here and one section there. So just take your time, bring back smaller sections of hair and make sure that they are secure. Now, I think the other week when we created our bun, we put all the hair into one ponytail. But here you can see I've created two ponytails. Now I have done a tutorial where I create a bun like this and I don't put the hair in ponytails at all. I just get the hair and twist and wrap the hair around and then create the bun. But if somebody has, and that's fine if somebody has that works if somebody has very fine hair. But if your client has thick hair, then you almost need a little bit of an anchor to secure your bobby pins to. And this just makes putting a couple of ponytails in here just makes the whole style that little bit secure, because you can use these bobby pins, these hair bands, these elastic bands here, you can use them as anchors to secure your bobby pins in. So I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. Sorry, one. You can do this style on shorter hair. Sorry, we've just been asked, Carter's just asked me if I can create this style on shorter hair. You can, but you just don't get as big a bun and as many twists. And you might find you just get kind of that many twists and you just have to, so you wouldn't have this bit of hair. So you could do, if she just got kind of maybe just shoulder length hair, and you just have to work a bit more on each section to pull it out a little bit more so that you can get more kind of volume to the bun. But if she's got slightly longer hair, then you can just, all I'm going to do, it's quite simple really. Let me just get a little bit of my product here. I'm just going to use a little bit of this Goldwell Creative Texture Super Ego Structure Cream. And basically it's kind of a bit like a curl cream, but with the kind of holding power of maybe a gel, but it's a cream, so it doesn't make the hair that kind of wet, kind of crispy. It stays really soft and gorgeous. So just make sure your sections are smooth, and if you can, free of flyaways. So smooth down. You might need to brush them, if they're a little bit tangly. If you've been creating a few styles on your practice head, you might need to just brush them through a little bit, but just smooth them out. That's better. They already look glossy, because once you've created this style, it's very hard to kind of go back and smooth out any flyaway hairs, because all the hair is going in different directions. So I'm just creating a rope twist here, and to create the rope twist, you kind of twist the hair in one direction. So I'm twisting it clockwise, crossing over anti-clockwise. Twist clockwise, cross over anti-clockwise. You don't need it to be too tight, but you want to create a nice kind of looking rope twist. And then you're just going to pick a direction this way. I'm going to do it this way, so I'm standing over here, but I could go the other way if I thought it looked nice, but it doesn't really want to go that way. So I'm going to bring it over here. And then you can use your strong hairpins. Just at the beginning, I'm just using these strong, straight hairpins, and I'm just going to prop it in the hair and just pop it in there, just as a prop, just to help me get started with the style whilst I decide where I want everything to go. So you can pop as many in as you like, and these are just little temporary props. Keep loosening. And then you're going to change direction. The longer the hair, the bigger the bun. Now, as always, that's better. When I create these styles, because I stand to one side when I'm teaching like this, they always somehow end up kind of slightly lopsided. So it might not look perfect, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. And just create this lovely style and keep going with the twist, and you just get an absolutely gorgeous bun. And remember, nothing's set in stone yet, so if you don't like the way it's looking, just come back, take it out, and do it again. Just check we've got another question. That's it. I have a mirror. I take a mirror with me when I'm working, but I don't take a trolley with me. So I have the trolley when I'm teaching, but usually when I'm working, I have my little grip box. This is looking gorgeous. I have my grip box, which you can see here, and it's actually like from a fishing tackle shop. So you can kind of get all your little bits and bobs in here. And if I'm working, I will just take my grip box and my mirror. I take my other things, but I don't have a trolley with me because usually I either put it on a table or I have a chair pulled up at the side of me so I can pop it on there. And you'll notice what happens when you have the two ponytails at the beginning. It's really super secure because it's got the pins that are only just kind of pushed in. I haven't put them all the way in yet, but they're kind of going in to the hair that's pulled tight into those ponytails. So it's actually already really secure. But also the difference is when you create two ponytails, the way I have done here, it kind of increases the size of the bun. So the dimensions of the bun become a little bit more, just becomes bigger. That's it. But it is a really pretty style. As I say, I created this for one of my brides this week. I'm going to cover that little bit up there with the end of the hair. Put a little bit of product just on the end of the hair, and that will be used to cover up this band here. And she had very fine hair. And it just looked gorgeous. And I used that picture as a little thumbnail for this particular video. So you can see that picture there. Now, if your lady, the hair isn't long enough to come all the way around, then you can just pull and cover that elastic band. Then just work with the bun a little bit more, pulling out the hair. And you can then cover the band that way. That's it. Just keep going. Give it a little spray. I think I'm in danger of pulling it out too much, so I need to be careful not to go too crazy. And as I say, if you don't quite like the way it's looking, you can always take it out and twist it again. You can go over these little piecey sections if you want to, making sure that they're nice and kind of smooth. That's it, lovely. And down at the bottom, mustn't forget down here, you want it to look kind of a bit polished and together. We don't want this gap at the bottom. So take your time and bring those sections together. She looks lovely. Now, it would look gorgeous if she had some soft little curls down at the side here. So it makes it all look soft and effortless and gorgeous. Let's just check. Hi, Kath. How do you deal with clients who have fine or sparse hair? So if they've got fine hair, then you need to work at the beginning. Hair prep's important. So sometimes if people have fine hair, you find they need to wash it every day because it gets greasy quite quickly. So if they've washed it that day, ask them not to use any leave-in products. So no leave-in conditioners, serums, no argan oil, nothing like that, because it just weighs the hair down. And when you do your hair prep, you're going to be generous with your mousse and your salt spray at the beginning, and blow dry the hair and crimp if you can to get some volume and some root lift there. And you'll find the crimping will almost kind of double the volume of the hair. And then when you create the style, if you're then going to use some extensions, just be very careful. When you use the extensions, and especially if you're going to do an updo like this, you probably won't need to put any extensions in at the side here. So you're just going to put extensions in this panel at the back here. So whatever it is you need to do with the sides, you might find you can put them in the sides, but you just have to be careful when you lift the hair up. You don't want to be able to see any of the little clips from the extensions. So if you're trying to create a bun like this, then I would just use them in this back panel here and stop just before you get to the crown, so that you can get that nice root lift with our own hair and then create the rest of the style. We do have a tutorial on our e-learning course where we show you how to put the extensions in and still get root lift and volume and have them hidden. So if she wants to have a hair down style, you can still do that, but you just kind of turn the extensions around the other way, and instead of clipping them with the clip down flat, kind of clip it going upwards, so you kind of get this little bit of root lift and volume in the hair. And that's on our e-learning site. So yes, you can definitely do this style on very fine hair. In fact, the lady that you saw on the thumbnail has had incredibly fine hair. But I got that lots of mousse, lots of salt spray. When I crimped the hair, I sprayed it with a little bit of kind of setting lotion just before I crimped the hair. So then you got even more of a crimp in the hair. You're still going to be very fine. So if you can use those little micro crimpers, it will be better, because you don't actually want to see the lines in the hair. And then when you get to the front sections, just don't crimp as much, or don't use as much product, so that when you crimp the hair, it doesn't leave visible lines in the hair. And then you'll be ready to go. You'll be ready to create the style. Use your products. Again, if she's got very fine hair, you could use a little bit of texturizing dust. But if it's a trial run, I probably wouldn't use the dust. Just stick with the hairspray, because it will find it, if she doesn't like the first style that you try and you need to try a different look, and if you've got that texturizing dust in there, it just makes it really difficult to change the style. So I usually save that for the wedding day. So let me just check. Have we got any more questions? How much do extensions usually cost? Oh, thanks, Kath. I'm glad that helped. It really varies. Now, for the sort of extensions that people have for their wedding day, you want to get real hair, so it needs to be 100% human hair. You don't want to be using nylon. It just makes your job twice as hard. But you don't need Remy hair. You don't need that perfect hair that people have for those extensions that they have bonded and that they wear day in, day out. Because these extensions, you're going to clip them in, they're going to take them out at the end of the day. So, if you went to maybe an Afro-Caribbean shop, they have a whole range of different quality hair. So you don't have to spend like £300 on hair. You could probably get away with maybe £60, £70 for enough hair, to get a full set of extensions in the hair. So you don't have to spend a lot of money for the clip-in extensions, because especially if it's for a special occasion, if your client isn't going to be wearing them every other day, then You know, it just needs to be, the most important thing is that you get the right color match and that it's human hair. And that's it. But yes, it's actually, and it does make such a big difference. We've got, on one of our exam modules, we have about 6 different modules on our e-learning course, and one of them is actually about working with padding and working with extensions, so that you can create all those gorgeous styles that you see on Instagram, where the extensions are blended in, but kind of invisibly. So that's what you'll learn how to do as well on the e-learning site. Let's have a look. Sorry, would I reckon the site? I use a company called American Dream, actually, for my extensions. And there's another one. I think it was one of my brides got some extensions. I think it was a lady called Lauren Pope, and she has a site where she sells extensions. And it might be, not quite sure what it's called, but if you Google Lauren Pope extensions, they're not necessarily, I don't think they're, some of them are real hair, but some of them are synthetic. But she does some beautiful extensions as well. But as I say, I use a company called American Dream, and they have beautiful extensions. But if you're looking for something, maybe if you're looking for something to practice with, I mean, our students do get a discount off American Dream products. But if you're looking for just when you're practicing, they don't even need to be the same color. It could have a slightly different color to your practice head, and it kind of looks like you're almost working with highlighted hair. But as I say, if you go to an Afro-Caribbean shop, if you're near a city or a big town, you may well find an Afro-Caribbean shop, hair shop, where you'll be able to get lots of different kind of shades, hair, lengths of hair, and have a really wide range of hair extensions, either with clips or without. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. You can see how quick and how easy and beautiful this style is, but take your time on the hair prep. And again, lots of my students often say they have, you know, they create their styles, but they would look so pretty if they had some little side bits, soft bits down at the side. But unless you're going to cut layers into your practice head, we can excuse that. We know she would look gorgeous if she had a few layers in her hair, and she had some soft bits coming down, but she hasn't. So, and I'm just going to pop these pins in to the hair so nothing's visible, and it really is so secure. Lovely. Done. Let me just check any more questions. Oh, that's a pleasure. Thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you've enjoyed this quick style for quite a big chunky bun. And again, it's just created with those 2 ponytails at the base. Of course, the hair prep's important. And we get this lovely, lovely style. So thank you for joining me tonight. And I'll be live again next week. So I hope you can join me then. Please, if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe, and then you'll get and hit the notification bell, so you'll find out when our next tutorial is due to go live. But thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care and stay safe. Bye.